What are the benefits of being a citizen of the EU? And what did Brit expats lose out on when Brexit happened? Stick around and you'll find out. Welcome to YouToo Spain. Let's dance! Hi, I'm Skatz, so am I, and we're here to tell you the advantages and privileges of being a citizen of an EU country. Ireland, that's one of them, but what if I was a UK citizen? We'll come to that later. Brexit! Yes indeed, Brexit has turned UK citizens into non-EU citizens, and quite a few of our subscribers are from the UK, so later I'll be briefly explaining the differences between what EU and non-EU citizens need to do if they want to live in an EU country. And will you tell us all how to become EU citizens? Yes, but let's start with the benefits. First of all, EU citizenship is a given for people who hold the nationality of an EU country, and with that you have lots of rights. Some of these rights are based on national laws, which might be different from country to country, while others are based on EU laws, which are the same in all EU countries. What rights are those then? They're all about everyday life, like shopping, driving, working, healthcare, and family and relationship issues. The first fundamental right is that you can live and move about within the EU without being discriminated against on the grounds of nationality. That's good. It is. And you get the right to consumer protection and also healthcare if you meet certain requirements. I'll come to those in a minute. Can I work in the EU as well? Yes, you have the same right to work as all other EU citizens, and there are lots of laws protecting your rights as a worker. In fact, there's a whole charter of fundamental rights of the European Union, and that's very important and tells you all about the common values of the countries of the Union and what they're based on. Ooh, tell us about those. I will, but I'm going to summarise it because there's such a lot of awesome rights set up for everyone's protection and such a lot of detail that we'd be here for hours if I told you all about them. I get bored. Exactly, so I will be brief. If you want to read the full details, I've put a link in the video description below to the EU website where the charter is. Okie dokie! So, the EU was founded on the indivisible universal values of human dignity, freedom, equality and solidarity, and it's based on the principles of democracy and the rule of law. Ooh, look at you with your grand oratory voice. Yes, well, it deserves a good shout out, but you know, it's very personal too, because at the heart of it is the individual, which is why it's all about citizenship of a union and creating an area of freedom, security and justice for every individual. So it's all about me. Yes, it is, and every other individual citizen with their common values. The EU also respects the different cultures and traditions and national identities of all of its countries and helps them improve and develop their organisation, and it guarantees the free movement of people, services, goods and capital. Sounds like a good thing to me. The Charter is a very good thing. People with common values and respect don't tend to go to war against each other. And the EU was formed at a time when we were all very aware of what treating some people as inferior to others and giving them fewer rights did to Europe in World War II. Nasty! And what came out of this was this set of rules that benefits every single individual, including a respect for human dignity. That is rule number 1. Ooh, a list! I've got this. Number 1. Human dignity is inviolable and should be protected. Number 2. Everyone has the right to life, so no death penalty. Number 3. Everyone has the right to respect for their physical and mental integrity. No eugenics and no cloning. Those are just 2 of the details. Thanks, other me. Number 4. No torture or inhumane treatment or degrading punishments. Number 5. No slavery or human trafficking. Number 6. The right to liberty and security. Number 7. Respect for privacy and family life, home and communications. Number 8. Protection of personal data. Number 9. The right to marry and have a family. Number 10, freedom of thought, conscience and religion, and the right to change your beliefs and the right to conscientious objection. Number 11, freedom of expression and information. Are there a lot more? There are 54 articles. 54? Is that absolutely necessary? Not only necessary, but vitally important. But it's going to take all day to go through that list. All right, let's speed it up a bit so we can move on. I think I can paraphrase even more. Okay then, numbers 12 to 19. These are all freedoms. There's freedom of the arts and sciences, the right to education, work, run a business, own property, get asylum, and finally get protection against extradition or expulsion. Numbers 20 to 26. Equality. Everyone is equal. No discrimination on the grounds of culture, religion, language, or gender. And the rights of children, the elderly, and the disabled are protected. Numbers 27 to 38. Solidarity. That's workers' rights protected, so working conditions are fair. They can negotiate, get protection, there's no child labour, you've got a right to family life, social security, healthcare, access to services, environmental protection and consumer protection. Numbers 39 to 46. Citizens' rights, like the right to vote in European and local elections, the right to good administration, access to documents, an independent ombudsman, the right to petition, freedom of movement and residence, and finally, diplomatic protection. Numbers 47 to 50. Justice. That's the right to a fair trial, the presumption of innocence, the right of defence, the right to fair and proportional penalties, and the right to not be tried twice for the same offence. And finally, numbers 51 to 54. These are all about general provisions and application of the Charter, the scope and interpretation of your rights and principles, the level of protection and the prohibition of the abuse of all of your rights under the Charter. Basically, making sure it all works and that it's legal. Bleeding heck, do you need a lie down now? Not at all. In fact, it's quite invigorating and good for the soul to hear all of the rights and protections that we all have and that all members of the European Union agreed to so that we could live in peace and be free. So why on earth did Britain want to leave? That's a very good question, and one that doesn't make complete sense to me, bearing in mind that the UK was heavily involved in the development of the Union's laws and rules. But I'll leave that argument for another video. Can we move on now? My head's about to explode. Okay, let's talk about what happens if you're an EU citizen and you want to move to another EU country, and what's the difference between that and if you're a non-EU citizen. Okay, the big difference is that if you're an EU citizen and you have freedom to live and work in the EU, you don't need a visa to move to another EU country. But if you're a non-EU citizen, Rule Britannia, then you do need a visa. And there are conditions, of course, to getting all of the different visas that mean you need, for example, more money, more qualifications, more documents, and have a more difficult process before you even find out whether your application is accepted. And then once you arrive, you have to apply for residency to complete the process, then renew that residency twice more in the first 5 years. Blimey! Whereas if you're a citizen of an EU country, you can stroll in and you only need to register with the authorities of that country if you intend to stay there for more than 90 days. You can travel around indefinitely if you want, all the while under the protection of the EU. And you can even bring your family, even if they're not EU citizens, and they get more or less the same protections as you. That's nice. It is, and it's all because your right to family is protected under the Charter, so they can't split you up. Unless one of you breaks the law, of course. And I can say whatever I want. You can, because you have freedom of thought and expression. It's all there in the Charter, as long as, and this is very important, as long as it doesn't go against the rights of another citizen. And just remember, whatever you do say, everyone else has the right to strongly disagree with you if they want. To your face. Oh, heck! Yes. So you can't just go shouting your mouth off and encouraging people to treat citizens as lesser human beings than you. That is against the principles of the EU. Why are there so many trolls then? Well, maybe they haven't read the rules properly. And they always think they're right, don't they? And that the rules are wrong. or they just blame immigrants for everything, or they just want to annoy everyone, especially me. What they need is peace and love, and a little bit of YouTooSpain.com. Yes, indeedy. Hang on a minute. You said you'd tell us how to become EU citizens. You're right. So, to become the citizen of an EU country, you need either to have ancestors from that country, or you need to live there for a length of time and then apply. How long for? That depends on the country. In Spain, for example, you need to have lived here for 10 years if you have no family connections. Oh, except there are some people who can do it quicker, which is why I made another video all about it. Tell you what, I'll put a link to that one down below. What about other countries? They all have slightly different rules, so the best thing to do is check with the embassy for each country for their citizenship rules. I did make a video about getting Irish citizenship. The link is below for that. Lots of people have Irish roots, so that one's been very popular. We've got Irish citizenship, haven't we? I'm absolutely overjoyed to say that yes, we have. Both of us are Irish at heart. Fiddle-dee-dee! Marvellous. Are you happy? Yes, thank you. Excellent. Then it's worth clicking on the like button, subscribing, and clicking on the bell. Okay. Any questions? Put them in the comments below. Peace and love. Peas and fluff. See you in the next video. Let's dance.